Here we go. All right. I am here highlighting.
Stephanie Brazil.
All right. Got it. All right. Now, where are you located at, Stephanie?
I live in Round Rock, Texas. It is just north of Austin.
Nice. So many people that I've been talking to live in Texas. What's it like down there right now? And
Well,
by the way, I'm recording in July for.
nice and warm. The heat is finally here and I am loving it.
Oh, up here, I feel like it's not been. I'm in Indiana, northern Indiana.
Oh,
And we have rained. Usually I covet the summers because it's like that's all the warm I get. But it's been all right. It's been all right, but it's just rained a lot. We've had some tornadoes. Like it's been a little crazy up here.
yeah, we've actually had a lot of rain so far this summer. And, usually we don't get a lot. I mean, we
Yeah.
do. Like, we're right in the middle. We're like right above Hurricane Alley and then right below Tornado Alley. So we get
Oh
like
wow.
the bad weather from both, but we really don't see either.
Oh wow. We get we usually don't get a ton of things up here. We get a lot of storms, but that's it. We don't usually get like we definitely don't get hurricanes in the Midwest,
Yeah.
but we don't usually get too many tornadoes or anything like that. Nothing really crazy happens up here. I love when storms come. So much fun. But we had a tornado that hit just right down my about 6 houses down,
Oh, wow.
all the way down a main drag here and pulled a whole roof off of a lady's house.
Oh,
Didn't take them or her kids, just took the roof.
well, that's good.
Yeah, flipped semi trucks, like pulled pole barns down, like had a good old time. Had a party. It just did.
Yeah.
We got pretty lucky. So, but it's been raining so much that our pier, we had to lift our pier. So, yeah. So it's been good.
Yeah. And then with us, our AC runs from March to November,
Yeah.
like literally. We
Yes.
get like 4 months of winter, and even that's, negotiable.
So what do you do? So here we are being recorded, and this could be a helpful tip for a glider owner. What do you do if your power goes out and it's way too hot for the gliders?
Well, luckily our power hasn't gone out when it's been too hot, but if that's the case, either we would sit in the car with the AC on, or we would go to anywhere local that had AC still running and, hang out for the day pretty much.
Yeah.
And then we've been having power issues here in Texas. I don't know if you know.
No.
The snowpocalypse we had in February, a lot of issues came to light, and so we've been continuing to deal with that. And like Austin has there's a lot of people in Austin right now that because of those continuing issues are out of power, so they set up cooling centers.
Wow.
So if worst comes to worst, we would go to one of those cooling centers that they would set up.
Well, it sounds like you guys have a good support group. So, somebody could, I'm sure there's places that people can find, or because of the Sugar Glider Guardians, they could reach out and I'm sure find somebody in their area.
Yes.
Yeah. So how'd you get started with the Sugar Gliders?
So that's actually a little funny because I was on Facebook and I saw this video for a bush baby.
Oh,
So it's those little tiny
yeah,
monkeys.
I
And
love
so
them.
all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I want a bush baby. And then I started Googling them and, actually Sugar Bear came up. And so I was like, oh, is that it? And so I clicked on it and it was Sugar Gliders. And I was like, oh, well, those are cuter and they're not monkeys. So they probably won't throw poo at you. So, you know, let me check into those. And then, I did. And about 2 months of research, and I found out the pet glider was in Houston, which is about 2 hours, 45 minutes away from us. And so I was like, after, they doing research and find out that intact males can be stinky, I get migraines. And so I was like, well, I'm not getting them if I can't handle the smell, strong scents will trigger migraines for me. So I was like, we need to go there. We need to go there. And if there's a whole bunch in there, then and we hang out for a while and I can tolerate the smell, then I want them. And that was pretty much the end of it. We went there, I could tolerate the smell, and yeah, we purchased 2 that day. And then they were pretty much my Christmas present.
Aww.
Yeah. And then my husband kind of stole them from me. Our 2 original boys. Yeah, I would go in because, they told us, leave them alone the first 2 or 3 days, give them snacks through the bar. And I would go in to give him a treat. He'd already be in there giving him a treat. It's like, if you're giving them a treat, how can I sneak in to give them a treat? He's like, well, just give them another treat. It's like, we don't want to give them too many treats. And so they actually kind of bonded to him more first, but then they discovered I have hair and he wasn't. And the relationship was pretty much over from there.
Aww. That's so cute. So yeah, because she's with my story, she actually helped me because it was before I knew anything about the Facebook groups. Like, she is the one that actually helped me with my first one. And helped me get more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like her. So what brought you to number 1, Sugar Glider Guardians? Number 2, what made you want to mentor?
So what brought us to Sugar Glider Guardians is it had been about a year and we were like, you know what? Our boys need some girlfriends. They were neutered. We had them neutered, but we're like, you know what? They need some girlfriends. And, my husband was a little jealous because they, bonded. Our boys bonded more to me. So he's like, we need more so they can bond to me. So we went and got 2 more. We got 2 girls. And unfortunately, the poor lady who was helping us, that day, she was like literally ready to pop. And she probably had like pregnancy brain, which I don't fault her for at all, at all.
Yeah.
But she mixed up one of the girls we were supposed to get. So there was like 7 in the cage with them. And she mixed up one of the girls we were supposed to get. And those 2 girls, while they got along great with 5 other gliders in the cage with them, they did not get along when it was just the 2 of them.
Oh boy.
So, and, we didn't know anything about doing a 30-day quarantine or anything. So we just tried to, they did the tail sniffing there at the pet glider, and like everybody was like, okay, yeah, we're good. So we came home, put them in the cage together. And then, yeah, the girls did not get along with each other and they kind of took it out on our boys too. And so our boys were just like scared, of these 2 girls because they were like fighting with each other. And so we tried for like 2 weeks. And then we called the pet glider back and we're like, hey, we don't know what's going on with these 2 girls, but they don't get along. They don't get along with each other and they're taking it out on our poor boys. And so they were awesome. They had us bring them back in. And then when we got down there, one of the lovely ladies down there was like, oh, that's because this one isn't the one you were supposed to get. And so she's like, you know what? They traded us for 2 caramel gliders, because they're more docile because our poor boys are just scared out of their minds.
Poor guy.
So they gave us 2 caramel girls, because, caramels tend to be more docile than standard gliders. And they were younger. They were only 7 months, but because they're caramels, they're already about the size of our boys. So size wouldn't have been an issue. And so again, we still didn't know about, 30-day quarantine at that time. And so we brought them home, stuck them in the cage together again. And our boys, our alpha DJ, and sometimes that stands for dick jerk because he can be a little asshole. I love him. He's pretty much my favorite, but he can be a little meanie.
Those are the best.
He just kept chasing the girls. And so we're like, okay, let's not do this. They're probably still traumatized from the first girls. So we put those girls in another cage, and we just kept everybody separate. And then that's what led us to Sugar Glider Guardians. We're like, you know what, we need to find out. My husband was doing more research on how to intro gliders and stuff like that, and that's what led us to Sugar Glider Guardians and Hope Kerr, our mentor.
Oh, nice. I just interviewed her yesterday. I love her.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She gave us some awesome tips on, trying to introduce them. And then, and this was like November, December. And so, we were just, so she gave us some awesome tips. They're still not together, because we decided not to push it. We decided not to rush it with them.
Yeah.
Because they were just so traumatized from those first two girls. I mean, our poor boys, and our poor Mosaic Bo. He is just such a shy little guy, and like he's the worst, like being shy wise. But so we have them to where they can all be out playing at the same time, and there's like minimal chasing and everything like that, but they still can't live in the same cage together.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah, but they can all be playing at the same time. So
sometimes things change after years.
Yeah.
It's really funny. Like just one day, like they just change their mind. Like they're in charge. They are definitely in charge.
Yeah, and then one of our girls, she's definitely not docile. She's a little troublemaker. She starts shit. Like she'll sneak. Oh, like I actually posted it in the group. Like they'll jump in and out of each other's cages and stuff like that. And like Bo, our nice little shy guy, he's sitting there eating a piece of corn, has it in his hand and everything, and he's eating on it. And she like slowly, like snuggles up to him, like starts at his tail and then comes up, gets up to his head, grabs a piece of corn from him, and takes off running.
Aww.
And he's just like, what happened? She was being all nice.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah, she's a little troublemaker.
So what got you into mentoring?
Just seeing all of the new people that were joining in and had so many questions. And so I just, I don't work. I'm 100% disabled veteran. And so I don't work.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you. And, so, I pretty much don't have a lot to do. And so I'm on Facebook all the time. And I started, seeing all the answers the other mentors were giving and recognizing who the mentors were and stealing all their good answers. I have a notebook, on my iPhone that I pretty much have most of my answers already saved. So I can pretty much just cut and paste. And so, I started combining them with my answers and my experience, and then just started answering people in the group and, tailoring it to their specific situation.
Oh, gosh, that's wonderful. Now, how long have you been mentoring?
Since January or February, I want to say. I think January.
Okay. And what would you say your specialty areas are?
Not just like basic stuff, pretty much.
Right.
So more of like a little bit of a jack of all trades, not a, I've done my research.
You're like a general practitioner.
Not good. Yeah. The one thing I'm not good at is breeding and joeys. I don't have any experience with that. And I'm trying to get that experience because I'm considering breeding. Not quite there yet, making a decision. But
wait and really think about it because it's a big job.
Yep. I'm going to take this next year to start getting into like the genetic sides and the hets and, all of that kind of things, and collecting stuff to have for joeys. So like, an incubator, and I've already got a rejection kit in, because there's a new rescue starting up in Houston called Austin Sugar Glider Rescue. And I've been helping her
Oh, nice.
So we're actually fostering two of her rescues right now, because she wasn't having a good. She'd had them for 7 months already, and she's trying to get them socialized.
Yeah.
And so she figured maybe new people will help get them socialized, because they had like, apparently they only had like one toy in their cage, and they didn't get a lot of human interaction.
Right.
So we're fostering
Wow.
two of her kids right now to try and
Aw.
help socialize them.
So is your household just you and your husband and your gliders?
Nope. My 18-year-old daughter lives with us. She has Asperger's. And then my mother-in-law lives with us as well.
Oh, wow.
And then, yeah, our spare bedroom is 2 sugar glider cages, and we've got 2 cages in our room. We seem to be collecting at least 2 a year.
Aw. So how does that affect the living with the gliders, like having the different people in the house?
Oh, and we have 2 dogs too.
And 2 dogs.
Yes, and 2 dogs.
Can't forget them.
Nope.
How does that dynamic work in your household?
So the gliders are pretty much in rooms or in bonding pouches on everybody.
Yeah.
The gliders don't really like our dogs, although our dogs definitely like to come up to the pouch and try and sniff. There's really no interaction between the dogs and the gliders. And then my daughter loves our gliders, but with her Asperger's, she can only tolerate them for so long. So she'll come in and play with them, and she'll hold some of them in a bonding pouch for a couple hours. But as soon as my husband gets home, it's me and him are the main ones. Yeah. So like right now, like each of us will be wearing 2 pouches.
Aww, that's really nice. So what would you say the most important thing is you've learned about being a glider slave?
Oh, the most important. How to not flinch when they bite to help build that trust.
Yeah. Go like this.
Yep.
Yeah. Hand in like this, and then and I put yogurt all over it. And then they go and they bite, and then they go, oh, that was good. And then they're licking your hand.
Yeah.
I got so used to bites, I was like, oh, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like a pro. Where do I specialize in learning how to get bit? No.
Yeah. And not flinch when they crab.
Yeah, don't flinch. That's right. That's great. That is really, really actually great advice.
All my 10.5 years in the Army training led to not being able to flinch when a glider crabs and bites me.
Yeah, because if they know they can scare you.
Yep. Oh, and our boy DJ, again, our alpha, he was a biter. Oh, he was a biter. He really was. And he was a good biter. He would draw blood.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
But now they're love bites. Well, unless you have mealworms in your hand, then all bets are off.
All bets are off.
All bets are off then. And God forbid your hands smell like mealworms and you don't have one in your hand for him.
Aww.
I made the mistake. We had just transferred our mealworms from, monthly habit of, refreshing their bedding. And I didn't even think about it and went into the room to go play with them right after, didn't wash my hands, nothing. My hands completely drenched in mealworm smell. And he latched onto a finger and would not let go. I was just like, oh man.
Oh my gosh. I bet you never did that again, huh?
Yep. Nope. Never again. Even when we take the mealworms out and put them in their little cups, we bring them into the room in these little cups. We wash our hands.
Yep.
We wash our hands.
They smell everything.
Yep. Oh, so here in Texas, we have HEB, and they make tortillas fresh daily. And I love their fresh tortillas. They are like some of the best tortillas I've had.
What's that place called?
HEB.
HEB. Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it's just a South this, the South kind of store.
I've never heard of it.
And so I made the mistake once of sharing a piece of my tortilla with DJ and Bo, our original boys. I can't take them to the store. They smell the tortillas in the store, and I have to pretty much go straight to the tortilla counter, buy some, open the package, and give them a piece. Otherwise, they're trying to come out of the pouch. You should see the looks I get, because I'm sitting there like, calm down, I'm getting you a piece, and then shoving pieces of tortilla in my shirt. Yeah, crazy look.
So cute. Hey, who's that crazy lady talking to her boobs?
Exactly. And why is she feeding them tortillas?
Yeah.
Then the looks I get, and I'm just like, oh God, you guys are horrible. I've turned them into tortilla stealing monsters. So yeah, they have to have their tortilla sacrifice anytime they smell one.
Oh gosh, that's so funny.
Oh yeah. I mean, and they're just like right at the screen of the pouch, like where is it? Like they know when we walk into the store, they know, they're just right there. They can be dead asleep and they're awake like that.
Aww, that's cute.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say is one piece of advice you'd give other glider owners?
Time and patience.
Mm-hmm.
Time and patience. Those are the biggest things. That's probably the biggest advice I could give a new glider slave.
Yeah, I love that. Do you have any other fun stories, glider stories you'd like to share?
Let's see. Oh God. Oh, so again, I've been working with, the new rescue as they're getting set up, and she had she was going on vacation to her brother's wedding, but she had one glider who he had just been neutered, and he kept ripping his stitches open. So the person who she had coming in to feed everybody else she was experienced enough with gliders to, feed them and check on them daily, but not really medically. So she wanted somebody a little more experienced to take care of them for the 2 weeks she was gone. And so she, gave them to us. And so, poor little guy, he had a plastic, she didn't know about e-jackets. And his poor neck was torn up from the cone, and yeah, he kept ripping his stitches out. And so, I mean, he was on, obviously antibiotics and an anti-inflammatory, and pain meds. But yeah, the poor little guy is like, you just need to leave it alone.
Yeah.
But so we babysat him, and we got 3 new boys this year. Like I said, we seem to be collecting at least 2 a year. This year it was 3.
Aww.
But and so they're in our room because we definitely learned the hard way about doing 30-day quarantine.
Yeah.
And which that can be another little funny story anyways. And then so he was in the room with them, so we had him in a 1-level DCN because we didn't want him jumping around or having a lot of climbing room. And then we had a Joey wheel in with him. That way he could still run, but it wasn't something he could really jump in because it's a smaller wheel.
Right.
But our 3 new boys, and they're all young. They're all, I think, the 2 we got in February, they were 5 months in February. So they're about, let's see. So they're like 10 months. They're almost a year old now.
I'm still listening, but my leg is cramping. So I'm gonna stand
no
up
problem.
for a second. Go.
And then we added a 3rd because my husband had to have a Crimino.
Oh,
So we got him in.
That's the only kind I've never had.
Yeah, and he wanted one so bad. So I gave in and was like, okay, fine, Crimino. And so the 3 of them are in a cage together, and the 3 of them got on like thick as thieves right away. Like, I mean, literally, we just put him in the cage with the other 2, and they're just like, oh, we love each other. So that was really nice. But so we're babysitting this glider because, you know, he's got some, you know, medical issues and she wanted someone with a little bit more experience. And we would move his cage into our bathroom while we had the other three out playing.
Yeah.
Well, literally almost the entire 2 weeks he was with us, all three boys would be booty dancing on us, like as soon as they came out of the cage because they could smell him. Have you ever had three gliders do the booty dance on you at once?
Not at once, no.
I'm not sure if I should have felt privileged or felt molested. I mean, three of them on the same shoulder doing the booty dance. And I'm just like, oh, well, thank you guys. Really, thank you. I think. But yeah, it was just funny, you know,
I love it.
Smelled him. They didn't even see him. They just smell him. And we're getting booty dances all over the place. I mean, even like on the floor where his cage was, they'd be booty dancing all over the floor too. And of course, I would take my phone out to try and record it. And the moment the light turns on my phone, they stop. They're like, oh, yep. So I keep trying to use it as an excuse to my husband to get an iPhone 12 Pro, you know, because it has the night vision camera on it. I was like, see, that's why I need the iPhone 12 Pro, because then I can record without the light bothering them. He's just like, yeah, that's not a good reason to get a new phone.
You're like, yes, it is.
I was like, yes, it is. It is.
Listen, you can say to him, and I hope he's watching when he hears this, that you can help other glider owners by doing videos.
Exactly.
That's so funny. Okay, I gotta write that down. Well, I know Androids have them, but I have to see which one because that is such a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that would be my next big purchase. It's going to be the iPhone 12 Pro, so I can have that night vision camera.
Oh, I love that. I love it. I love your stories. They're so amazing. So next question. Do you sell anything glider related?
No, I don't. I am not that creative.
Yes.
You know, I've got toy making materials and everything, and I haven't started on them yet. Yep. Unfortunately, I was medically retired from the military, so I have a lot of physical disabilities, and sometimes those can wear me out a lot faster than I think I can get worn out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we appreciate your service, and I feel like God blesses us all with different qualities, and you're here, you gave back, and now you're giving back again.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, yeah, I love these little guys. They're like my favorite. They really are. So I love our dogs, but I love these little guys.
Yeah, they're like little people.
They really are. Oh, I love their personalities.
Yes.
That's the only way that we would be able, that we can tell our caramel girls apart. There are like no physical differences between them. Well, besides one of them, she was over-groomed as, you know, a Joey. So she's like missing this little half moon out of one of her ears. And then the other one, you know, same thing. She's missing up to like the first knuckle on her, like pretty much her pointer finger on her right paw. But unless they're right up on you, you can't see those differences.
Right.
So yeah, we definitely had to learn their personalities to be able to tell them apart unless they're right up in our face.
Right. Now, do you have a favorite place you buy glider items?
I actually love Sugar Glider Toyland. So it's the Etsy store for the pet glider.
Okay. Loves Sugar Glider Toyland. Love it. Have you found anything really unique?
Let me see. Unique. Oh, you know what? Our gliders absolutely love those fleece logs that Cindy's Shuggy Shack makes. You know, so they have like danglies on them. They can sleep in them. They can pull little fleece leaves off the end. Oh, our gliders really love those.
Okay, I'll write that down. That sounds amazing. I'm getting all kinds of ideas.
And then
I did yesterday, I ordered a gizmo pouch.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait.
And then our boy Nim, he's like a regular, he's our criminal. He absolutely loves to dump all of the pom-poms out of the little container it's in and then run around with the container on top of him.
What? That's so cute.
And the first time he did it, I thought, what the heck is going on? Because they're the ones that are in our room. And so I like went over to the cage because obviously it's the middle of the night and, you know, I deal with insomnia issues because of my, you know, physical disabilities. And, you know, I don't know how my husband sleeps through it half the time, but he goes out and he's done. But so, you know, and I hear him running around in the cage. I'm like, what the heck is he doing? So I get over there and yeah, he's got the container on top of him. So I'm like, how in the heck did he do that? And so, you know, I pull it off of him, go back and lay down. 5 minutes later, he's right back at it. I'm like, he did it on purpose.
That is so funny.
Yeah, it's like a 2-year-old with a box, you know, doesn't care what was in the box, you know, the present that was in the box. They like the box more. He likes the container more than the pom-poms.
That's so cute. That is such a cute story. I have to write, okay. I have to write little notes. Now, when you're mentoring, do you use just like the Facebook Messenger, or do you do tutorials? Do you have any YouTube videos?
I do. I have a few, and that's a little funny story. So I have, the first video I did was trimming my glider's nails. So I trim all of them in the video. And, you know, my daughter was nice enough to hold the camera for me and, you know, get really in close. And my girl, Kara, our other caramel, you know, glider, she hates getting her nails trimmed. I mean, you would think I was killing her. You know, you would think I was torturing her by trimming her nails. But like my boys are so easy. My boys are, I mean, just, I give them a treat and they're just like, do whatever you want. So I have the nail trimming video where I trim all of their nails to show kind of the differences between them. Like our, you know, our other girl, Taya, she likes to watch me trim her nails. So
really?
Yeah, she likes to watch me trim her nails. And then Kara, I have to cover and, you know, hold down to be able to trim her nails every week because we trim nails weekly.
Yeah.
So I love that people can see that difference between all of the gliders on how I have to, you know, the boys, they're just like, oh, toss a treat in the bag. And they're like, whatever, you know, and then Taya, where she's just like, okay, mom, what are you doing to my hands? What are you doing? I need to see this. And then to Kara, who she's like, you know, she knows the glider pouch too. You know, or the trimming, the nail trimming pouch too. And she'll fight to get into it. She fights to get out of it. You know, so I have to gently hold her down every time and wrap because she'll bite. She doesn't bite hard, but she definitely makes it known that, you know, she does not like getting her nails trimmed.
Right.
And then that night, when they're coming out to play, I don't know how she has so much pee. I don't know how I don't know. They must have 2 bladders along with 2 uteruses, you know, because she will come out and she will sit in my hand and she will pee on it like 5 times. And I'm not talking like the little, you know, drip, I love you, I'm marking you pee. I'm talking full on dripping off of my hand pee on the hand that trimmed her nails. She's like, oh, you trim? Yeah, it's revenge. Yeah. It's revenge pee.
Wow.
And it's the only time she does it like that too. Wow. It's the only time is on nail trim night. She comes out.
I figured out a over path because I make my husband hold them and then I nails. So he's the one that always gets bit, and then I get to take him back into the cage.
And
love him and give him a treat. And I'm like, he's like, oh, every time we have to do it, he rolls his eyes.
Yeah.
I am.
So I tried to do an unbonded nail blind video with, you know, Nem, our criminal, and we literally only had him for a week, and we'd only had him in a bonding pouch for like 2 days. So I mean, we literally not bonded with him at all. So, and I was trying to do an unbonded glider video so that, you know, I could show people, you know, hey, I've only had this guy for a week. Easiest nail trim I've ever done.
Nice.
Easiest nail trim I've ever done. I was like, you were supposed to be difficult. You were supposed to be difficult and crabbing and biting. You know, I'm a mentor. I wanted this so, you know, they could see that even if you're being scary, you know, we don't have to be scared.
Yeah.
And easiest nail trim I've ever done. I was like, well, geez, thanks. You just ruined my video.
Aww.
But actually I was able to accomplish that with these Fosters, with the Foster gliders, because, you know, they're probably about a year old. And we got them on Friday, and I do nail trims on Saturdays. And so I trimmed their nails that Saturday, the next day, you know, and so I was able to get my unbonded glider video that way. And they were all nice and crabby and bitey and everything.
Don't forget to send me a link to any of your videos that you post, like the you have a website or YouTube or
Yep, YouTube. I have them saved on YouTube.
Link, because when I post your video, I'll put that in there.
And then I have a video of one of our caramel girls barking, because have you ever heard a caramel bark?
Maybe.
So they almost sound froggish. They sound like a glider who's been smoking like 4 packs of cigarettes a day for 20 years.
I've had caramels, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm not sure who is barking at that time.
Yeah. Well, you'll definitely be able to tell the difference. And like, you know, so because some, you know, people don't realize that caramels are like a subspecies, and that they're, you know, they're 20% bigger than a standard glider. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they typically have a bigger head and bigger ears than a standard glider. And then, yeah, their bark is different, you know. So like, you know, one person was asking, they heard their glider barking. They're like, that doesn't sound right. And so I was like, nope, you probably have a caramel. You know, here's what ours sound like, you know. And I had one lady come on and comment. She's like, is your glider okay? Is she sick? I was like, nope, that's the way her bark sounds. So yeah. People are always shocked how they bark, how they sound when they bark, because it's just so rough.
Right. I had one caramel that she was my first caramel, and she was the one that got me falling in love with seniors, because I like senior gliders. And she passed on my chest.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was something. Yeah. That made me fall in love with seniors, and from that point on, all I wanted is seniors. Like, I wanted to give them the best life. So then I made the cage, and it's like senior luxury center. It's really funny. Sorry if I have to stand up. My legs have been cramping really bad for a month.
I have bad back issues, so I know all about, you know, I never realized how connected your leg muscles are to your back and your stomach muscles until I hurt my back.
Yeah. Yeah, my legs are just really tight.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to do rapid fire.
Okay.
I'm going to ask some questions, and here we go. Okay, the last book you read.
I reread The Hobbit. I love those movies. So, and yeah, the books can be a little dry, but I reread it because I love those books.
Oh, good. I've never read those. One movie comes on TV you would watch over and over again. What is it?
Oh, the Harry Potter movies. I love them.
What's the best advice you were ever given?
Oh, probably from my dad, who was also in the Army. I'm 4th generation Army, and if it has your name and your social security number on it, get a copy of it.
Okay.
So, you know, that's probably the best advice I've ever gotten. And, you know, again, 10 and a half years in the Army, it definitely came in handy.
Well, good. When you're gone, what do you want to be remembered for?
I have no clue. Maybe my daughter. You know, she'll be my legacy.
All right. Okay, again, we're highlighting Stephanie Brazil. Don't forget that if you haven't had a mentor or you would like one, please reach out to one of the admins. If you're looking for information, don't forget we have information in the file section of the page. As always, happy gliding, be safe, and have an amazeballs day.